Child's Cry for Help is one of the most underrated films I have ever seen. I absolutely adore it. So this is the 1994 film, directed and written by Sandor Stern, and stars Pam Dawber and Veronica Hamel, or perhaps Hamel, I apologise if I get that incorrect. And there's a specific reason why I love this, but it's maybe a spoiler, so I'll talk about that in a little bit when I give a spoiler warning. But the description from IMDb for this film is as follows. A recently widowed doctor moves with her daughter to start at a new hospital. A loving mother brings her son in for treatment, and the doctor suspects that something is wrong. So this mother brings this son in, and there's something that's definitely not right about this child's suspected condition. And our Dr. Spencer, Paula Spencer, begins to look into this, and she unearths some very worrying things. And throughout the film, it progresses that we find out more and more. And I had no idea what direction this would take. I didn't know how it would conclude itself or what would happen to the child. It was very gripping, very thrilling, thoroughly enjoyable, truly loved it. And yes, one of the reasons why I loved this was because of Pam Dawber. I love her. She plays the mother Monica. And I really took to the character. I felt sorry for her when she was bringing in her young child, and everything just seemed to be going wrong for her. Very likeable character until we start to find things out. And then it's less anger that I felt and more frustration. And I really like the development of this character and her involvement within the narrative. The narrative development is great, the pacing is great, the environment is perfect, looks and feels like a hospital. We don't just spend the entire film on a ward, we do get to different locations. Everything about it I absolutely loved. And the main reason I love this, and this is perhaps a spoiler, I can't remember. I've seen this film a few times now, and I can't remember if the first time I watched it, if during that first time I knew what the problem was. I honestly can't remember, so this may be a spoiler if you haven't seen it. And what the truth is that this is Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is one of my favourite conditions to study. I love reading about it, I love writing about it, and of course I love watching films about it. And if you're not aware of what that is, basically Munchausen syndrome is where you make yourself ill or injured to get attention from medical professionals. It's not attention seeking as such, it is a medical condition where people don't even necessarily know they're doing it. By proxy is obviously where, in this case, the mother does it to the son. It's where you do it typically to your child or a child in your care to get attention through the child. And I love that. Obviously it's awful that it exists, but I love watching films about it and studying it, and I think it's portrayed very effectively, very, very sensibly. It's done quite sensitively, but that's not to say that Monica gets away with everything. The victim here is the child, but she is also suffering from a mental condition. I think it's handled very well. I think they've portrayed the condition in a way that I would consider to be very effective. And I personally really thought it was very good. It's very well acted all around, and I honestly, I was going to say I have no complaints, but it's not just that I have no complaints, it's that it's one of my favourite films. Would I love it as much if Pam Dawber wasn't in it? Yes, absolutely. I 100% feel like I would like this just as much. I love it. There needs to be more films about Munchausen syndrome. If you can recommend any, that would be absolutely amazing, because I do truly love it. If you haven't seen A Child's Cry for Help, I really recommend that you do. It's overwhelming in parts because it's so fantastic. It really is a fantastic film.